Gun owners are living in an exciting time when you can get good quality scopes for entry-level prices and great quality scopes for prices previously unheard of. In this video, we're looking at the brand new Titan scope from Element Optics. Element Optics is a relatively new company founded by some hardcore gun owners, and a number of which come from the airgun community. They launched the company with 3 optics, and this is their mid-priced offering, the brand new Element Titan 5-25x56 front focal plane optic. Let's start with the unboxing, we'll discuss the features, and then we'll throw it on a gun and do some tests outside. So I just received the scope, and to give you the best experience, I have not opened it or played with this before. All right, let's dig in. Now that is teasing. Very cool. All right, so we have a nice box. We have nice styrofoam. Ooh, this is well packaged. All right. We have sticker, Element Optics sticker. We have an instruction manual, and it looks like we have the manual, and then there's a guide for the reticle. We have a cleaning cloth. We have 2 pretty nice Allen keys, or just use a fix-it-sticks kit. 2 scope caps. They're actually pretty nice spring-loaded caps. They're going to do pretty well. I really like these caps over just nothing at all. Okay. We have a sunshade. Oh, this is, I believe, the throw lever. And then we have the scope. Let me just make sure. Nothing else in the box. All right. So let's put this away. And then we have the scope. So, ooh. Nice. All right, and the scope also comes with the bikini covers. Okay. What's this? Wow, this is actually pretty cool. So one of the things, as I understand by Element, is before every scope leaves the factory, it is going to be inspected by somebody, and then there is an inspection sticker. Very, very cool. So the scope is made in China. Hopefully you can see it right there. The scope is made in China. They are not trying to hide that, and that is actually one of the ways that they can save money. So Element, they do have 3 different scopes. So they have the Titan, they have the Helix, the Titan, and the Nexus. The Nexus is made in Japan. The Helix and the Titan are made in China, much like you would actually find with the Arkans and even the Vortex Strike Eagle. Once again, China doesn't mean bad. China simply means that it was produced in China with components sourced from all over the place. I'm not morally opposed to having a scope from China because I think it's going to be junk. What you have to decide for yourself is whether you are okay with having something manufactured in China. That is up to you. But realistically, though, you can say, well, what about going with one of the European manufacturers? But even with those, you have European manufacturers who are having final assembly points in China as well. All right. Overall, this is actually, from the unboxing portion, this is actually a very nice package. You do, like I said, the fact that you get both the bikini covers, which are good for longer term storage, but when I'm out in the field, I actually far prefer having flip covers. Well, again, the downside is, though, if you are using the flip cover, you're not going to have access to the fast focus eyepiece. So I am going to take this off for now, but when we do have it actually mounted to the gun, we are going to mount it on there. And just even from the value perspective, you have the scope, you have a sunshade, you have flip caps, you have the bikini covers, which I'm going to assume most scopes are going to come at least with something. And then you do have the fro lever. And actually, let me just put this on right now. Cool. Definitely, I don't think it's needed because you have such deep scallops, but I'm going to... There's a screw on here. So actually, I'm going to do this right now. And that is an Allen. Looks like this guy. Nope. Nope. These are out of order, that's why. Yep. It wasn't on too tight, that's why. Ta-da! Installed. Good enough. Okay. So let me clean this up, and then let's talk about the features. I'm going to put the screw away. The goal with the scope was to provide good image quality at the very competitive sub $1,000 price point. What the scope gives you and how it's able to accomplish its goals is the size. The Titan is a fairly big scope, and it's not something I would put on a hunting gun. The scope weighs 39 ounces, or over 1.1 kilograms. The Leupold Mark V HD and the Vortex Strike Eagle 5-25s weigh 30 ounces. The Crimson Trace Series 3 5-25 weighs 35 ounces. So needless to say, this would be a great scope for a bench or a prone gun, and not something that you would want to run on a run and gun. Not something that you would want to run on a run and gun gun. The reason why the scope weighs more is due to the additional glass elements inside in order to keep up the image quality. Speaking of glass, the glass here is ED, or extra low dispersion glass. Now, image quality is going to be a combination of both glass quality, coatings, and internal engineering, but having ED glass means we should be able to get a good start and a right foundation. The scope features a 34mm body, which will allow more light to initially enter the system, but more importantly allows more space for windage and elevation adjustments. The Titan is advertised with 90 MOA, or 26.2 mils of elevation, and 50 MOA, or 14.5 mils of windage adjustment. As per Element, these scopes are capable of even more elevation adjustment. However, at that point, image quality quickly degrades. If you're going to be shooting regularly at the edges of the range, my suggestion would be just to simply use a bigger rail, such as a 30 or a 40 MOA rail. And if you are going to be running these on a bolt gun, then take a look at a company such as Anarchy Outdoors, which is going to have 30 and 40 MOA rails with a nice bubble level for guns such as the Tikas, the Ruger Precision Rifles, the Ruger Americans, Remington, actually Savage. I'm fairly positive they have Remingtons as well. One of the big competitive advantages with these scopes, and it shows where the design originated from, is that these scopes have a minimum focus distance of just 15 yards. This is perfect for precision air gunners and .22 shooters. Okay, so let's talk about the turrets and the reticle. The Element Titan is a front focal plane optic. This means that as you change the magnification, the reticle size is going to change with it, exactly as you can see in this overlay. The scope is available with 4 reticles, that's 2 clean and 2 dirty, as they call them, 2 in MOA and 2 in millirads. The dirty reticles are what they call Christmas tree reticles, where you have horizontal stadia lines in the lower half of the scope, which will correspond with holdovers for windage adjustment. The one I have here is the millirad tree reticle. The Titans also come with illuminated reticles with the vertical and horizontal lines illuminated. You also get very nice beefy turrets with hard mechanical zero stop, something you don't always get at this price point. Another unique feature of the scope is that you have a tool-free, resettable turret. You can just unscrew the top off, and then lift it off, and then you can reset the zero. Do note that to reset the zero stop, you do need an Allen wrench, and quite frankly, I'm not sure when you would just reset the zero without resetting the zero stop, unless you have the zero stop removed, which you can also do that as well. Lastly, we have another competitive advantage, a built-in slot for throw lever, which will let you more easily adjust the magnification, and it's especially helpful in colder shooting environments when you are wearing gloves. Okay, I am freezing my butt off. It's like 30 degrees outside trying to film this, but we're going to do it, and I'm recording it to my phone. So here we can see the reticle. Let's actually go back to our target. So that target is at 100 yards. This is the scope completely zoomed out. So you can see the reticle moving in. Now, the reason why the camera is recording this way is the sun is right in our eyes. Okay. So that's 100 yards. And we are on 8 power magnification. That's about 400 yards. Let's look at the roof. Oh, and actually I didn't adjust the parallax. Okay, so this is where sunshade would help. Right now we're on 12 power. Okay. All right, so let's get some indoor impressions. We have the fast focus eyepiece. Ooh, that was like nice and sealed in there. When you let it out, you heard it. Nice and smooth. So once again, I did install the throw lever on here, which is actually not bad. It does help. But the scallops are really nice. So if you're shooting this with gloves, you won't, well, I'm not going to say you're not going to have any issues adjusting this, but this is definitely very nice and is going to be much more helpful. and it is very smooth throughout the entire magnification range, and it is consistent. Sometimes you'll find with some of the cheaper scopes, it's going to be a little bit tougher around the edges, and then here, and then in the middle, it's going to be okay. All right, so let's talk about the turret. Little stiff, but smooth all around. All of these scallops are really deep. With gloves, this would be perfect. Might be a little rough on the hands without it. Okay. Then the parallax. Super stiff at first. Wait. No, it's good. It's consistent. Actually, one thing I'm noticing, the parallax adjustment here is inverse of what you have in other scopes. So let me show you. Okay. So, actually, hold on. All right, so the parallax here, the ones I'm thinking of, so I just pulled out the Strike Eagle, and that was like actually a really bad example because it has the same one. So the closest is at 15, and to go back, you're pushing up. Same as on the Strike Eagle, you're pushing up to go to infinity. But well, I guess I can show you on this one. So this is the Leupold Mark V HD on our Ruger Precision Rifle Custom Shop. On here, to go further back out, you pull down. So it's just the inverse, and I'm actually kind of used to it going this way. So something just to be cognizant about. And actually, now think about it, the parallax on here is parallax adjustment on here is a lot smoother. Well, not let me reply, not smoother. It's less stiff. But once again, though, what do you expect? This is a $800 scope versus a $2,000 scope. Okay. Actually, let me just check the Crimson Trace. Yeah, and the Crimson Trace Series 3 is the exact same as the Leupold Mark V. It's just the Vortex Strike Eagle and this guy, as far as I know. Although I'll check the Arkin and the Athlon that I have over there. Okay, so that's that. All right, turrets. Oh, these are beautiful. These turrets are beautiful. It's funny, the windage is slightly different feel from the elevation. Wow. The turrets here, so let me get it close. I have the mic here. Okay, so we actually hit the edge. Actually, we hit the zero stop. And the zero stop hitting the zero stop, it's a hard zero stop, which is exactly what we want. Very precise. So yeah, very stainless steel turrets. I mean, like, nice, solid clicks, good detents. There is absolutely zero play. So with some scopes, Let me bring the Strike Eagle now in full fairness. The Strike Eagle was dropped. And you can actually, just the weight difference between these is astounding. So you can see there's quite a bit of play in between the clicks. Okay. You can absolutely tell the clicks on here are significantly more audible. They're solid clicks. Now, we're not super duper precise. So this is the millirad. You have 10 mils of rotation. You have 10 mils of adjustment per rotation. So let's say, for example, if you're just trying to dial in one click, you can you heard like that skip. So you can do it if you need to, but it's not super precise. And part of this would be, I mean, the turrets on here are nice and beefy, pretty much the same size as the Strike Eagle. But when you have 10 mils of rotation per each dial, you have more. So the spaces are a little bit smaller, and that adds to it. But the feel on here, I mean, they're nice and tactile. They're awesome. Very good. I think for the price, these are very good. For the price, and honestly, I'm going to bring up for the Chinese, these are very nice turrets. And once again, nice hard zero stop. One rotation. 1.5, okay, so 15, so actually we probably do have 30 in here. Well, since this is going to be a full review, let me put this away. Yeah, you can see I gave it a love tap. Okay. That looks like a 0.5 mil. Okay. All right, so let's go all the way down, and then I'm going to zero it, and then so then it's going to be easier to count. So once again, to zero it, literally just simple as removing that. Align it to your zero. Cool. I say this is actually pretty nice. If you're not going to use the zero stop, you can just remove that and do it. All right, so let's see. We're going to come up 10, 20, 26, 27, 28, 29. There's actually 30 mils worth of adjustment on the scope. So we're topped out. It's exactly 30 mils. Yeah, no, so that's actually very good when you're thinking about it. Like I've advertised it as 26.2, but we removed the zero stop, we went all the way down, and then we came back up, and we had 30 mils worth of adjustment on here. Which is pretty much going to be, it's going to be pretty right up there with the Vortex Strike Eagle. The one thing is that as per element, when you do go to the edge, it is going to degrade the image quality a little bit. So that's why they don't advertise it. But this is indeed 30 mils. And just to verify, let's go back. So we're at 0. One, 2, 3, yep, and that's basically with it bottom down. 30 mils worth of adjustment. The initial bottom line. I was quite excited to receive the Element Titan, and after playing with it further, I continue to be impressed. The scope offers good image quality, a solid zero stop, smooth adjustments, and terrific turrets, all at a very reasonable price. The potential downside, of course, comes down to one thing: the weight. This is a porky fellow at 39 ounces or just over 1.1 kilograms. If you have a precision bolt rifle that you'll be shooting behind a bench or prone, then this scope will be just fine. If you're shooting PRS or another gun game where weight is actually welcomed, then this might actually be a plus. On the other hand, this is not an ideal scope to put on a hunting gun. As mentioned in the title, this is just the initial review with the facts and my first impressions. I will put the scope on one of the rifles and within the overall rotation, and in a follow-up video I'll have my longer term impressions, more shooting footage, and tracking tests. For now, I'm going to enjoy this scope. So that's my initial take and first impressions with the Element Titan 5-25 first focal plane rifle scope. I appreciate you watching, and if you learned something new, please make sure to click the like button and share the video with your friends. Make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell on to receive up-to-date notifications on our latest videos, including the follow-up to the scope, our ongoing precision rifle series, and more. You don't want to miss what's coming up next. And if you are enjoying this channel and you want to see more content and you want to help keep it going, please join the Squad Squad, our YouTube channel membership. You'll have a direct say in the content that's coming up, a direct line to me, some awesome swag, and discounts to a number of vendors, many of which are featured in these videos. You can find more info by clicking the join button below. As always, I want to thank you for watching, keep on squatting, and I'll see you in the next video.